72nd Republic Day, and today we are celebrating 72nd Republic Day and also our transition from a global governed state to an independent republic. As we all know that India gained independence on 15th of August 1947, but we remained as dominion status under the British until 26th January 1950, when the Constitution of India was adopted by Constituent Assembly, marking India's emergence as a fully independent, democratic and republic nation. The freedom and rights that we enjoy today as a citizen of India, not to mention this democratic setup, we owe it all to our Constitution and to the people who treated it. Constitution of India is the supreme governing document. It is a rule book of India that includes everything from rights of an ordinary citizen to the rights of its president. It assures the citizens of fundamental rights and justice, liberty and fraternity. At this day, the Constitution of India came into force in 1950, however, was adopted on 26th November 1949 by the Constituent Assembly. On 26 January, India was declared Purn Swaraj by the Indian National Congress in 1930. That's why 26th January was chosen to bring Indian Constitution into force. Government of India Act 1935, to fundamental governing document, our country was declared as sovereign, secular, socialist, and democratic republic by the Constituent. Our Constitution assures that citizens of India about justice, liberty, and equality among them. Our Indian Constitution was drafted by the Constituent Assembly, in which 389 members were there. Mark, 389 members. It took around 3 years. Not exactly 3 years. It is 2 years, 11 months. That was. A drafting committee was set up by the Constituent Assembly on 29th August in 1947 to draft the Constitution under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Some important figures of the drafting committee were Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, Ganesh Vasudev, C. Raja Gopalachari, Sanjay Phake, Balwant Rai Mehta, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Kanhaiya Lal, Rajendra Prasad, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Nalini Ranjan Ghosh, and many others. Much had led, sacrificed their freedom fighters to gain independence. Many even lost their lives for it. They could have easily rested their guards, enjoyed the fruits of independence. Instead, they took the laborious and painful task of formulating a constitution for India because they had a vision. They had a vision of India where no discrimination is made among its people on the basis of caste, religion, where equal opportunity is provided to all, irrespective of region of gender, where freedom of religion, expression, education are provided to the citizens. At the apex of the idea was a government of the people, for the people and by the people, resting the ultimate power in the hands of people of India. With this vision at heart, the noble souls framed the Constitution of India. In the Republic of India, people are its true stakeholders and the pillars. We all are the pillars of Republic of India. In our own capacities, soldiers who defend the Republic of India are a pillar. Mothers nurture the pillars of Republic. Fathers who look for the needs of the Republic. Doctors, engineers, lawyers who tend to our Republic in their own ways. Teachers who instill good values into Republic. Officers who maintain law and order to dispense their public duties. Elected representatives who formulate the policies for the Republic, even the sweeper who keeps the Republic clean is a pillar of the Republic India. I may have missed mentioning many, but the bottom line is that every citizen of India is a pillar of which the legacy of Republic of India stands. We all must together take the legacy of India forward, cherishing our Republican democratic values, moving on the path of progress and prosperity. Moving a huge nation on the path to progress and prosperity is indeed a big project. It will require an effort from each one of us, which is only possible when we stay united and admire the principles of Republican and democratic setup. A disciplined and morally upright nation is built by disciplined and morally upright institutions. Institutions that respect their fraternal relationship with other institutions. Institutions that maintain the integrity, discipline, and limits of their functioning without compromising on excellence. Institutions that are always more important than the individuals located there. And institutions where the holders and the members make every attempt to live up to the office they occupy as trustees of the people. A nation will be able to prosper and grow only when its people are happy and content. To be happy, we need to have rights, powers, equal opportunities, justice, liberty, and fraternity. These rights are guaranteed by Constitution of India, whose inceptions we celebrate as Republic Day. It is therefore, my dear colleagues and children, and my head, academic head, and Canon ma'am, not only a gazetted holiday, but also a day to admire the principles of Republic and thank the men and women who framed our Constitution. With this, I conclude my speech, wishing you all once again a very happy Republic Day and hoping that we will achieve the goals and development and prosperity together. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.